Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I had to make a video today because this morning, Chevrolet made an announcement and released a video that I cannot believe. And I don't mean I can't believe it in a I can't believe they're ruining the Corvette more than when they put the engine in the back and took the manual transmission away kind of way. I mean, I can't believe this is actually happening. So let me just kind of explain what's going on here. I'm not going to play the audio from it, just in case I can get in trouble, but this is the video that Chevrolet put out this morning. You can see clearly powered front wheels spinning up first, then the back wheels join in. It's an all-wheel drive C8 Corvette drifting in the snow. It looks awesome, it looks super cool, but the thing that has me blown away is the fact that this is, like I said, actually happening. Because the reason I'm so surprised is we roll back to November 2019. Life was good, COVID didn't exist yet, everything was happy, the C8 had just dropped and I believe started deliveries at the end of 2019, and Motor Trend puts out this article, and they have a source at Chevy that says, the ZR1 is going to be a hybrid, twin-turbo, dual overhead cam V8 and make 900 horsepower. And I was like, that is so obviously made up, right? Like, who's your source at Chevy? Now, there is a little bit of merit to this, which is crazy, but even then I was skeptical. I wrote an article, I believe, for LS1 Tech or Corvette Forum at the time, I can't remember, but there was a little shred of hope in here that made me think, that's insane, but maybe it's not impossible. So, GM's same source. So this same source told GM that the Z06 Corvette that was coming for the C8 generation was going to be a twin-turbo, flat-plane 5.5 liter V8. So obviously we now know that that's not true, but it is a 5.5 liter flat-plane V8. It's the highest horsepower naturally aspirated V8 ever put in a production car. So I don't know. I think this source might have some merit. Clearly, as Chevy just announced, an all-wheel drive hybrid Corvette is coming, and a full electric one in the future, which I'm sure is making all kinds of Corvette fanboys mad. But anyway, it does give some merit to it, right? Because that's such a, you can't just call that, be like, oh, by the way, they're gonna make a all-wheel drive hybrid one and be making that up and just strike gold and get lucky with the fact that Chevy just happened to decide to do that. So here's why I think there's some merit to this guy's claim in general, and I'll explain to how it's connected here in a second, because obviously you can see that Corvette is all-wheel drive, and Chevy themselves said electrified, so that's a hybrid, obviously, especially with the description saying, you know, there's a full electric one coming. He said that there would be a twin-turbo flat-plane V8, and I think it probably was going to be. Or at some point, GM was developing a twin-turbo V8, because you have to keep in mind that this was the same time that the CT6V Blackwing was there. Or no, sorry, it wasn't the CT6V Blackwing, it was the CT6V, which had the Blackwing engine. The name got carried over to the CT5V, but the CT6 Blackwing engine was a twin-turbo dual overhead cam V8. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if in development of the Corvette and the Z06 they were experimenting with a twin turbo setup. So I think what we're looking at for whatever Chevy just released, whether or not it's a ZR1, I think it's probably going to have the flat plane V8, probably not turbocharged, but clearly electric assisted. So there's music in the video. It's really hard to make out the engine noise, but there is a little bit of engine noise, and I'm not going to designate whether or not that's the flat plane V8, because if I say it is and it isn't, then everyone's going to be like, you don't know what engines sound like. So I'm not taking a stance on that either way. But the reason I'm excited for all of this is the concept of a 900 horsepower all-wheel drive Corvette is insane, right? Because that's more power than a Porsche 918 Spyder, and developing it in a similar way, especially if it was twin turbo. A turbo V8 with a hybrid assist makes 900 horsepower. The Spyder, 918 Spyder made, I think, 880 something. I can't remember, but the reason that that's insane to me is, you know, the price point isn't going to be anywhere near what a 918 Spider would be, and neither is it going to be as exclusive as a 918 Spider. Even if we're going crazy on the price, you know, there's still no official pricing on the Z06, but people are estimating it's going to start north of 90,000. If we went absolutely wild thinking that the ZR1 was going to be $250,000, that's still insane performance for the price. Because you can imagine the ZR1 is always like the Z06, a little more track oriented, stiffer suspension, and better for being on a racetrack, bringing all-wheel drive and 900 horsepower to the table for a car that costs $250,000 theoretically, and realistically, I would guess maybe $150,000 to $160,000 is probably somewhere where it's going to be, like, with options and stuff like that. Because there's no way Chevy thinks they can get away with selling a $250,000 Corvette. Like, let's be real. Even with the price of everything being 140% of MSRP and people paying $150,000 extra dollars so they can get a Lamborghini Urus now, there's no way Chevy thinks that's going to fly. So I would say cap is $150,000 to $160,000. And that's just absolutely insane. Obviously, it's not something that I can afford, but the fact that Chevy is producing something like this is crazy. So whether or not it has 900 horsepower, which I'm still very skeptical of, but even just the concept of them making a all-wheel drive hybrid C8 Corvette with electric front wheels and V8 powered rear wheels is absolutely nuts. That is one thing I'll take a stand on. The sound of the engine in the video clearly is a V8. I can't say for sure if it's the flat plane one or not, but it's not like a 4-cylinder or a 6-cylinder. So the people that are still just hanging on the C8 by a thread and can't stand the non-manual situation, you can take some solace in the fact that it does sound like it's a V8, and I'm about 99% positive it will be one. But at any rate, obviously a twin-turbo V8 would be just some crazy icing on the cake, but considering it was supposed to be twin-turbo in the Z06 as well, I wouldn't anticipate that coming. But you think about the fact that, what's the Z06 make? 600-something horsepower. 650. So I don't think it's that out of line to think that they could squeeze 250 out of an electric drivetrain mounted up front. Like, there's electric cars that make that already. So, I mean, not hybrids, I guess, generally, but I mean, 250 horsepower, even if they did 150 horsepower electric drivetrain up front, and they'd make an 800 horsepower all-wheel drive Corvette, is just nuts to me. So, yeah, I'm excited. You don't have to be excited. All the people that complain about it being mid-engine and manual, it's all right. We don't want you old timers to have that much horsepower on tap anyway. You guys can keep going in straight lines. That's cool. All joking aside, thank you guys very much for tuning in to just this quick little video. I was excited about the potential of the ZR1 Corvette rumor being an actual thing. It's looking a lot more likely every minute. So if you want to read more detailed thoughts that I had more time to think about, there's a link to my article that I wrote for Motor Biscuit on this topic in the description. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's BigB1011. It's also the same on Twitter. I've been kind of trying to post on Twitter a little bit more. And we got some projects and stuff coming up. It's getting warmer. Ross and I are going to be working on things. And I got some Volvo parts for my wagon. So until next time, I will see you guys in the next one. You guys have a fantastic day.